everybody, Bob here. Today's video is called a core workout for seniors. Let's warm up. Little step touching, little crossover. We'll work the upper body and the lower body, maybe 4 or 5 minutes, and then we're done. Just follow along. Enjoy the music and enjoy the day. Working on the shoulders, squeezing the shoulder blades together, keeping my lower body moving as well. Just tapping my toe behind. If you're just doing a little squat, a little shrimp squat, that's okay. We're all different. Almost done. Good work. Well, today we're going to do our core exercises down on the mat. And the first thing we have to do is get down on the mat safely. So what I'm going to do here is well, there's different ways you can do it, but I'm going to try putting one foot in front of the other, apart a little bit. And then I'm going to make sure I'm stable. And I'm going to lower my body down, and as I do, I'm going to use my hands on the floor, but I'm going to lower my body down and put this leg that's back, put the knee on the floor first. So here I go. Okay, that wasn't too hard. And then I'm going to put my hands down on the floor and then scoot that one out. And there I am. So let's just try that again. But to get up, we have to get up the same way we got down. So let's just put one leg, and this will be my dominant leg because this is where all the pressure is going to be to get my body up. And then instead of just letting go of the floor and trying to stand up, I have to have something to hold on to, and if I don't have a chair or a couch, I'm going to use my quad muscles here with my hands, and I'm going to push down. My knee is right over top of my foot. That's important. I'm going to push down and get that leg up so that the foot is touching. So here I go. Good, and then I slowly come up. Now, if that's not the way you're going to do it, you do it whatever way you can, but make sure you do it safely, and if you need some kind of a prop, like a chair, go right ahead. But here I go again. So one leg, the strong one, is out in front. Okay, and then I'm going to get my hands ready for the floor, spread my fingers, keep the knee over top of the foot, and then lower that knee to the floor. That wasn't too bad. Lean over, touch the floor, and then take that leg out from under me. That might be a challenge. When I get this far, depending on where I'm going, I could just put my hips down and sit down on whatever side. But we're going to start off with a series of exercises for our core in this table position. Now, you've done this many times probably. You got to make sure that your hands are right below your shoulders. So if I look and think, hey, these arms are on a bit of an angle, I either have to take my hands out further and bring my shoulders up to meet them and maybe adjust my knees. Or if I'm like this, I could just lean forward a little bit. But make sure the shoulders are above the hands. The hands are shoulder width apart. My hips are above my knees. My arms and my hands are right in front of my legs, kind of there. Everything's lined up. I'm a nice, stable table. And I have to think about my back. And I'm working my core muscles, and all of you know that your main core muscles all meet here in your lumbar spine. Okay? So I want the lumbar spine to be as flat as possible and as stable as possible and as tight as possible, while I move maybe my arms and my legs to work my body in this position. So the core muscles that are in there, they can't move. They just have to do their job of stabilizing. That's what core muscles do. So are my shoulders over my hands, or my fingers spread apart to give me lots and lots of stability? Well, that finger there has a little arthritis, so I have to move it myself. Good. I think I'm ready. So now I think I'm in the neutral, stable, flat back lumbar spine position, but I'm not sure. So maybe I'll do a little bit of a pelvic tilt and stick my bum in the air and lower my belly to the ground a little bit. And as I do that, I'll lift my head up to see if anybody's watching. And you know that that's called the camel or the cow. And then I'll bring my head back into neutral and come back into neutral with my back. And then what I'll do is I'll suck my belly button up as I bring my chin to my chest, and I'll round out my back, and I push my hands into the ground, lifting my body so that I'm like a cat ready to hiss at something. My chin is on my chest. Okay, that's as high as I can go so far this morning. So now I'm going back into neutral. I'll try that cow one more time. My bum goes into the air, my head goes up to see if anybody's watching. Where are my shoulders? Are they over my hands? Yep, something like that. And then I'll slowly go into the hissing cat. And then I'll go back into neutral. But to do the exercise, I want to be in neutral. So what you could do is you could have put a ball or a little glass or a cup, maybe a plastic glass or something to drink out of on there, just to see if it moves and falls on the floor, because you don't want it to. You want to keep that as stable and as flat as possible. If somebody else is with you, they can look and say, well, you maybe need to adjust your body to get it a little flatter. Your table's a little lopsided. But that's the best I can do. I'm not in the cow, I'm not in the cat, I'm in neutral in the stable position. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift one of my hands off the floor just a little bit. I'll choose the left one. It could be the right one, just a little bit. And I notice when I do that, this shoulder here comes up a little bit. So I got to lower my shoulder a little bit, because when I move my shoulder, my back moves. And I don't want my back to move because it might have something on top of it that might fall off. So I'm just lifting my hand up a little bit. And I'm going to hold that for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. If it's too hard, you can rest. 2, 1. Down I go. So I didn't feel anything up here moving too much. I'll try the other hand. Here it goes up. Just a little bit off the floor. What about my shoulder over my palm? Yep, my knuckles there. Lower that side because I lifted this up. Lower, get myself into the stable, flat table position and just keep the hand off the floor. Because remember, your arm, your hand, your arm is connected to the shoulder, which is connected to your low back. So you might not think that it's going to do anything to that flat lumbar spine, but it is. So you got to think about that. You got to focus on that. This is not easy. And that's 10, so put it down. Now to make it a little harder, I'm going to lift one of my knees up, my legs. So I'll choose the left. And here I go. So I put the pressure on the other side, adjust my weight and lift it up. Oh, now my whole side of my body is coming up, so I got to lower it a little bit, just a little bit to keep my back flat. This is off the ground a little bit. And that is about 10. Down it comes. Take a little breath here. Okay, here goes the other side. So think about what you're doing. You're pushing down with both palms. You're pushing down with the leg that you had in the air. You're going to sort of slide over that way a little bit. Lift this leg up just a little bit off the floor. Lower the hip though. Lower the hip. Keep that low back flat and tight and stable. My arms are starting to bend, but I'll try to straighten them so that my table is strong. Do your best. It's almost 10. 3, 2, 1. Good. Now you could have a rest here. You could just relax. And if you wanted to do that, you'd have to adjust your legs so that you could sit down just for a second and go, holy man. But let's get back to it. So get back into the table. Maybe you're still in the table position. Make sure everything's lined up the way it should be. All right, here we go. We're going to take our hand and our arm and we're going to straighten it out, keeping our low, flat lumbar spine stable and not moving at all. Now, the shoulders and the arm are quite a distance away from that lumbar spine. They're farther away than your legs. So maybe I should lower that shoulder a little bit, keep my back flat. And I'm only holding it for 10, and that's about 10 right there. Wait till we get to the legs though. When we get to the legs, it's going to be a little bit of a different story for that lumbar spine moving. Lower my shoulder on that side. Try to keep the supporting arm as straight as possible. My shoulder's right above my palm there. My back is flat and not moving. I don't think it is. Okay, and that's about 10. Put it down. Now here go the legs. So the legs are very close to your lumbar spine, your hips, your legs. So when you lift them up and straighten the leg, you're not going to keep it, you are going to keep it close to the floor. You're not going to put it up here because you can see how my back starts to arch. Turns into a saddle for somebody to ride me. So I'm going to keep my legs straight and close to the floor. Maybe I'm not even going to lift it off the floor. Maybe I'm going to lift it a little bit. You choose. Maybe I'll put it down. At least it's straight and it's changed from that stable four-legged table. I hope my back is not moving. There, that's 10. Let's put it back slowly. And we'll try the other side. So I could lift it up and not do anything with it, but then I'd have to lower that side somehow. So it seems like it makes more sense if I straighten my leg and keep it low. The toe might be touching for support. Are my arms straight? Are they shoulders above the palms? Kind of. Lift it off the ground a little bit. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Put it back. And maybe we should have a little bit of a rest again. So I'm going to adjust my legs and my hands and just put my hip down. Maybe straighten my legs a little bit and have a little rest. Now I'm going to show you the next level, and then that's it. And there are many levels to this. So if you don't think so, you think, no, I can't do that next level, you can either go back to what we were doing with the hand up a little bit, the other hand up a little bit, the legs up a little bit, or straighten the legs, or you could do one hand and one leg like this and try that. But I'm going to just take it right to the next level. So here I go. First of all, I make sure I'm in a nice stable table position. Okay, I'll take one hand, maybe this one, and I'll put it out as straight as I can get it, parallel to the floor. And then I'll straighten the opposite leg, but I'm not going to lift it up too high because I don't want to create that saddle in my low back. But it's off the ground. This is a couple of levels beyond where we were. You can play around with all these levels. 3, 2, 1. Slowly bring everything back. There are lots of levels. And one more the other side, so this arm's coming up. What about my low back? Is it flat? Is it straight? Is it not moving? Here we go. I'm thinking about my low back. Here goes the leg. The leg goes back out. Keep it low. Maybe point the toe. Keep it in the air. Maybe touch the floor. And that's almost 10. And there we go. Slowly bring it back. Good work. So now I'll just sit down slowly, adjust my hips and my legs. Good work. Okay, well, now we're ready for exercise number 2. And this is a side plank. We're taking our body and we're going to stack it on our side. So I'm almost there. What I have to do is decide what am I going to use for stabilization or support. Well, I'm going to use my forearm. So I'm going to put my forearm down on that mat, and I'm going to make sure my shoulder's above my elbow and the forearm is nice and straight. You can either grab your fingers and clench them into a fist, which makes it a little bit more stable, or you can just relax your hand. But it's the forearm, shoulder, elbow, forearm that's doing the work. Then I'm going to take my legs and I'm going to take them out into a nice straight line. So what I have to do here is I have to make sure that the line from my shoulder to my knees is nice and straight. In other words, I don't want to curve my body like this so I'm like a saucer, or even back like that so I'm like a boomerang. I want my legs piled on top of one another. I want it to be straight from my shoulder right down to my knees. I want the top leg on the floor in front of the bottom leg. But keep it straight. Okay, so here we are. This might be level 1 for you. You might be holding onto the floor. I don't know what you're doing with this other hand, but you might be using it to just keep yourself in this position. And then we're going to hold it for 10. Okay, so you think, okay, I think I can do this. I have to adjust myself a little bit to get that shoulder right above the elbow. Keep this nice and straight. It's kind of like an L there, right? 90 degrees here at the armpit. I'm stacked. That's about 10 seconds, but here we go with the exercise. The exercise is just lifting the hips off the floor. So what I like to do is I like to use my hand when I'm ready. We'll call this position 1 with our hand right here. And I'm pushing down on the floor with my hand as I lift my hips. But there's a lot of pressure happening here in the forearm, and there's pressure happening down there in the feet to get myself off the ground. And I don't have to be really, really high, but if I can go high, I want to go high. So let's just try it and see how high I can go. Can I go up there? That's as high as I can go today. Down. You might be just right here a little tiny bit so that you can hardly get a piece of paper between your hips and the floor. I don't know where you're at, but remember, this could be it. Or maybe you're going to come up a little bit, or maybe you're going to get up even higher. So wherever you happen to be, we're going to hold it for 10, 9, 8, 7. I'm thinking about my shoulder over my elbow. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, rest. I'm thinking, oh my goodness gracious. You know, if that shoulder is not over that elbow the whole time, you're doing yourself a lot of harm. So you think, well, I don't know how to do this then, because I can't do it. Can you just get into this position? Maybe get your legs in any comfortable position you can, and just get into this position and go, there, I've got my forearm on the floor. Got my shoulder over top of my elbow. That's as far as I can go. Well, maybe I can straighten my body a little bit. Maybe I could do it this way. Stack it this way. So from my shoulder down to my knees, it's still straight. I'm not using the bottom part of my body to lift my hips. I'm going to lift my hips from here. Hey, maybe I could do it that way. Let's try that. So we've got our legs bent. We're stacked, but bent at the knee. Okie dokie. Rest. Okay, so let's just try another level here. That means instead of having my hand on the floor the whole time and holding on, when I get my hips up, I'm going to let go and put my hand over top of, like I'm going to cradle with my palm, the deltoid muscles in my shoulder, and just make sure that they don't move. They might tighten up, but I don't want them wobbling around or moving, so I'm going to hold on to make sure. So here I go. I'm lift my hips up, go, okay, where are the deltoids? I've got this straight line down through here. There's my deltoids. I can feel my deltoids. How many do I have? I think I have 3. One on the back, one on the front, and one at the top. Is that 10 seconds? Let's hope it is, because that is not easy. So I'm going to straighten my legs, get them into whatever position I want, get myself up to have a rest, because you know what? I got to do the other side. Now, there's lots of levels with this too. But if you're doing it, forearm, shoulder over the elbow, maybe have a clenched fist, maybe not, maybe straight legs, top leg over top of the bottom leg, the feet are touching right so I can push down with the sides of my feet. Good. Elbow through to the knees straight. The best I can. If you have a giant pot belly, well, you can think about what you're eating. Anyway, here I go. So I'm going to use this hand to push down. I'm going to get it up as high as I can go, and I'll just count to 10. 10 steamboats, right? That's about 5 already. And 10. Let's go down slowly. Let's try it again. Up we go. Now, how many would you do if you were really, really, really doing this exercise routine properly? About 10. You'd hold it for 10 seconds in the air, and then you'd do 10 in a row. Might take you a while, right? You might be resting a long time in between. That's okay. Okay, so, just for the third one, I'm going to grab my deltoids on this side. So I'll get myself up first, and I'll grab my deltoids. Hold on to the deltoids. Look at my body. Is it in the right position? Are my hips up? Pretty good. Remember, practice makes permanent. When I was in grade 4, the teacher used to say, practice makes perfect. Down I go. Here I go. Hand goes here. Slowly lower your hips down. Let's try it once with the legs bent, just so that we don't forget that. We can have this option if we want it. So let me see my hips, knees, shoulder through to my knees. Legs are stacked. So I'm going to be doing a lot of pushing down right there. Clenched fist, forearm, hand, up. 5. Let's do 5 with the deltoid. There's lots of levels. Stay tuned in the future for some more stacking sideways options. And that looks like 10. Down we go. Good work. So from here we have to go down to our back. So instead of swinging my legs around and putting my head up there, I'm just going to put my head down this way. But how do I do that? Do I lie on my side and just roll over? That probably would work because I'm used to the forearm being down there. Right? Maybe if I straighten my legs again, maybe I could just get my shoulder down. Hey, that's pretty good. And then, can I roll over without hurting myself? Well, what's behind me? You always want to be safe. Get my head down, roll over, and adjust myself. Okay, notice my head is touching. Well, right off the bat, I'll tell you guys, this does not feel good for me. I need my head up a little tiny bit. It needs to have a pillow under there that's, strong enough to hold my head up here. And why? Well, because of my age and because I'm like most people, I spend most of my time leaning forward in my car, on the couch watching TV, lots of positions using that computer or that phone, just sitting anywhere in an unacceptable chair. It causes your head and your neck and your back to be in the wrong position. So that's why lying like this doesn't feel good for me. I need a support under there. So how are we going to get one? Oh my goodness, we have to go get one. And I didn't tell you to get one. So that means we have to get up and go and get one. We do. We'll just call that whole thing not a Bob bloop, but we'll call it a part of the workout. So I have to get up again. So I'm going to adjust my hips, get over on my shoulder there, up my shoulder, use my hand and maybe my forearm. Where's that? And sort of roll maybe. Hey, that helps. Good, good. And then I can sort of push myself up from there. How did I get up? How did I get down? Oh my goodness. I think I was on one knee, I think. I'm going to turn over. Hey, that didn't hurt. Now, let's see here. I had my hands and I had one foot up. That's the hard part. Getting that leg from here. Maybe you have to take it out and come around. Let's try this one. Out this way, come around and get it right so the foot is right underneath my knee. There. There, my feet are kind of shoulder width apart. Good. Now how am I going to push? I have no chair. I have to push on my quad. Can I do this? Hey, I can. That's far enough. Let's just get that foot. Maybe I'll use my hand to do this. On that. Hey, that worked. Good. Both hands on the quads and slowly come up. Oh my goodness. Hey, there's a pillow. I think I'll use that one. Is it soft? I don't want it too soft. It better be the right pillow, right? Because if it isn't, I got to get up again and get another one. Maybe I should have another one close by. Hey, how about this Mexican pillow, just in case I need it? Okay, so here I go. I got to get down again. So what did he say to do? Oh yeah, put one foot, the dominant foot, in front of the other one. Okay, get my hands ready for the floor as I lower this knee. Okay, good. And then I'm going to take this foot and put it back there. How do I do it? Maybe instead of trying to get it under, I'll put it out to the side and work my way around. So you can see it. Say I'm in this position. Ensure the knee is above the foot. Feet are shoulder width apart. Okay, so I'm going to go, well, I'll go out this way. I can straighten it. That's easier. Good. Now I have to get to, where's my forearm? Yeah, maybe I can use my, there we go. Where's the pillow? Maybe I'll just get down here and fall asleep. No, that's much, much better. I don't need the Mexican one. Oh, that's perfect. Because my head's up a little bit. So that puts it in the neutral position, right? It puts my head so that my earlobes are above my shoulders instead of back, and they're not. I want my earlobes in front of my shoulders, or above my shoulders. So here I go. I'm in this position right here. Now, if I bend my legs with my feet flat, I bend it like that, I take a lot of pressure off my spine. There's a lot of load, even if you're standing or lying on the floor like this, there's a lot of load going into your lumbar spine from your body weight. So if you bend your legs like this and put your feet flat, it takes a lot of that load away, even though there is still pressure on your lumbar spine. And we're working our lumbar spine today, the core muscle, grand central station. The core muscles that come from your legs up through your glutes and into your low back and then onto your upper spine. Those are multifidi muscles. You don't have to remember the word, but if you want, they're multifidi muscles. And they go here into your low back, and that's where they get a little bit wider, and they branch off into different parts too, because those vertebrae there are a little bit bigger than the rest that go up to the top of your head. So I'm going to work on that part of my low back, and I don't want it to move. So I'm going to take my hand and I'm putting it right underneath there so that my knuckles are up against my low back. Not the hips, not the hip bone, the low back. I'm going to get it in there, and I'm going to get the other one in there too, because I want my knuckles to sense whether or not that low back is even moving a little tiny bit, because I don't want it to move while I do the exercise. Now, some people have told me they can't do that. Their shoulders aren't in good enough shape to bend the arm like that and get the hand under there. Well, maybe you have one shoulder that will work, so you can get one hand under there while the other one takes a little break. Or maybe you'll have to put something else under there. Or maybe you won't. But that natural curve you have in your low back and your lumbar area, you want it to stay in the position that it's supposed to be in. You know, when we were in the table, there was a little bit of a dip, but not much. You don't want a saddle going on here. So I'm going to put my hands under there. I hope you can work at that and get your knuckles feeling your lumbar spine. My elbows are touching the floor. My feet are flat. My legs are shoulder width apart. I'm going to spread my toes. But one of the legs, before we start the exercise, one of the legs is going to be straight. And I'm going to flex that foot. That means that the toe down there on that straight leg is pointing toward the ceiling and maybe a little bit toward my head. And when I do that, when I straighten the leg and flex my foot, I can feel my lower leg below the knee, the calf muscle and the soleus muscle in the shin area there. I can feel it tightening up. We want that. Okay, and I'll tell you why in a second. And anyway, I also want this part here, my quad and my hamstrings, to be tight. So I have to imagine that somebody's pushing that down. So the knee has to lock, sort of, and the leg has to go flat to the ground the best I can get it. This one's just keeping us stable, reducing the load, by keeping the foot flat and the legs bent. So anyway, that straight leg is nice and tight. Everything's flexed and locked and straight and flat. Good, good. I can feel everything in the low back there, and nothing's moved yet. That's good. But when we do this with our leg, when we get our leg into that position, whether they're both in that position or just one, we're activating our transverse abdominis core muscle. That's a big mouthful. The transverse abdominis. It's a girdle-like muscle that goes around your belly button and your lumbar spine, and it holds everything in your core area here, really close to your spine, nice and tight. And that's what we want to do, because here goes the exercise. If everything's ready, nice and tight, my head's coming off the pillow, and my shoulders, but just the upper part of my shoulders and my back, are coming up a little bit, just a little bit. We're going to pretend in our brain that my head and my shoulders, the upper part, are lying on a scale, a weigh scale, and we don't want it to register anything except 0. Right now it's got some weight on it. Here comes my head up and my shoulders so that the scale registers at 0. That's as high as they go. My head's still in neutral, right? My chin is off my chest. My head's looking like it's just a relaxed head, except it's off the scale or the pillow or the floor just a little bit. How long do you hold it? Just for 10 seconds. I talk enough to create 10 seconds, so I'm down and I rest. Holy moly, that was easy. Like some people, when they do this, they go like this with their head. Wrong. That will make your low back weaker in the long run anyway. So you don't want to do this. You want to keep your head in neutral. That means, you know, your chin is off your chest here, your upper chest. So here we go. Hey, let's switch sides. Tighten up everything in the straight leg. Flex the foot. You ready with the knuckles underneath your low back? My head's in neutral. Up I go. Just a little bit, not very far. I'm only holding it for 10. Keep that leg straight and tight. Really tight. Nothing should move. I'm just lifting. That's 10. Rest. Good work. Other side. Oh, but before I show you this again, some people do this. Not only do they go like this with their neck, but they lift their legs. So they go like this. And they think they're doing it right, even though they've been shown the video and they've been explained how to do it. They still do it wrong. So you have to focus. You've got to be in the now, in the moment when you exercise with intention. Otherwise, you're going to make lots of mistakes and you're going to might as well not even do the exercises. Okay, here I go. So I'm going to think about my foot and my leg and my knuckles and my head and the upper part of my shoulders. And here I go. Up I go. Now I think about good things. Right? My cat, my family, the weather, good food. That's 10 seconds rest. Other side. Here I go again when I'm ready. Focus on all the things I have to focus on. Here I go up. I'm not even pushing with my elbows. I'm just using my knuckles to sense my low back. Did it move? That's the point. It should not move. We're working those core muscles. They're stabilizers. They don't move. Okay? They're not flexing anything, or they're just stabilizing. So we did that a couple of times on each side, and that's good enough for today. But next time we'll do some more. If you can do, maybe on your own, whenever, do a series of 10 on each side. You could do, 10, here could be 1, rest, do a 2. You could do it that way, or you could alternate. Okay? But anyway, try to get yourself up to 10 on each side. Alrighty, get those hands out. Okay, so we're ready to sit up. That's our last series of exercises for our core. So how did he do that again? Oh yeah, I remember. I keep talking about him like he's not here. It's me. So I got to get my forearm. There's my forearm. I rolled over on my side. Can I do this? Yep. Because I remember how to get up from here, but we have to sit. So I'll put my hip down. Yeah, I don't need the pillow anymore. Okay, now sitting. Well, in this position here, notice where my hands are. My legs are bent, my feet are flat, but my hands are here holding me in a stable position. Otherwise, I could fall over, or at least I could slouch like this. Like if I let go there, my back is not strong enough to be in the right position, so I need my hands on the floor to straighten me out a little bit. That's exercise number 1 in the seated position. So I want my feet shoulder width apart. I'll face you this way for the first time through. Feet are shoulder width apart and they're flat and the toes are pointing straight ahead. Good. My hands are on the ground. I can put them anywhere I want as long as I can do a little pelvic tilt with my pelvis. And when I do that, you'll notice my chest come up and my head will come up. Watch. Right. Now I'm in the position I want to be in. This is supposed to be neutral for you. And if you practice sitting all day long, you'll be in this position. This isn't good. This will make you live not quite as long. So I've even moved my arms so that they're closer to my body, giving me more stability, more stabilization here. So see, if they're out here, it just doesn't feel quite right. Now the closer they are to my erector spinae surface muscles, like those tubes that run down on either side of your spine, those things are really, really good too to hold you up nice and tall. They're not core muscles. They're not like the transverse one and the multifidi one inside your body, but they're really good for holding you in a nice, good, neutral, stable position. So my arms are becoming erector spinae assistants. My hands are flat, my head is in neutral, my chest is up, my hips are forward. Think about all that and just sit here for 10, 9, 8. Where does it hurt? Does it hurt? Well, my wrists don't feel too good in this position. They seem to be working harder than my ankles. Maybe I should do some exercises for my wrists and my ankles before I even do this. That's 10. So now I can relax a little bit. Just give yourself a little, can you do this? Can you get your hands off the floor without falling over? My goodness. Let's just try that one more time. So get my palms down, spread the fingers, arms close to the erector spinae tubes running on either side of my spine, holding me up. Yep, I felt my chest come up a little bit. My hips went forward. My feet are kind of flat. Like if I can't get them flat, I have to straighten one of them or the other one, that's okay. But that has to do with your hips and your knees and your ankles. They all need work too. Is that 10 seconds? That's pretty good. I should do it one more time and then we'll stop with that because this is hard work today. And we've worked really hard, so here we go. We can't exercise all day long. There's the position, I can feel it. That's where I want to be. And we're only going to do one more lumbar spine core exercise in this position, and then we're done. Then we can get up, do a little stretch, we're finished. And there's 10 seconds. Okay, relax the arms, because you know what? You're going to take the arms and put them underneath your legs and grab a hold. Now, whether you grab a hold like this or you grab a hold of the wrists, I don't care. But I want you to think about what happens to your low back when you pull your arms and your elbows are going out. You're pulling really strong underneath there. What happens? Well, my low back starts to come into that perfect neutral position again. It almost helps with the pelvic tilt, see? So my head is up, it's in neutral. I'm really pulling. My legs are coming together, but I can also push my legs out like that, keeping my feet flat, to make it even a little bit more difficult. I don't feel any pain. It's kind of annoying, uncomfortable, but not painful. So that's okay. So I sit here for my 10 seconds. That was 10. Relax. I can let go. Holy smokes. And here I go. One more, maybe 2 more times. Just sit up nice and tall. Pull. Push your legs apart. Head's in neutral. Breathe normally. Breathing is another whole thing. And relax. Because your diaphragm, which is inside here, going up and down as you breathe in and out, is a major core muscle. So you got to keep breathing. You can't hold your breath ever, because then your diaphragm's not working and then you're not getting the oxygen into your body. Okay, we're almost done. This is it, the last one. Good, and relax. Okay, what we're going to do here is we're going to get up very slowly, do a little bit of a cool down, just a little bit, and a little stretch. So getting up, eh? Okay, how did you do that again? I'll go over on my side, adjust my legs so that I'm in that table position where I started today. And then I think everything's in the right spot. Okay, so what I have to do is get this leg, or that, I'll start with this one so you can see. I'll straighten it and bring it out here and bring it around so the foot can come underneath my knee. Right, so there's my knee and there's my foot. Good, and then I have to hold on to something. Maybe I'll use 2 hands. No, I'll try this. One on the floor and one on the knee. And I have to bring this foot here beside that foot. So, now there's a lot of thinking going on here just to get up. Good, now I'm using my hands on my quads, and I'm going to slowly straighten my legs at the knee. And then I'm going to slowly bring my head up over top of the rest of my body. Good, good. And so I just do some step touches here for a little bit of a cool down. Not much. Shake my arms, shake my legs. So we're going to do one little stretch. It's part of the cool down here, because we're going to move and then we're going to eventually hold it. So my feet are shoulder width apart, standing in neutral. I'm going to bring my arms slowly out to the side so I'm in this T position. Then I'm going to keep going, get them up as high as I can get them, wherever that is for you. Okay? So you might be still here and that's as high as you can go, but see if you can get them over top of your body somehow. And then you're going to push your hips back and you're going to bend at the waist, but keep your legs straight. Your head's between your arms and you're coming down slowly. We're still moving, but we're not moving very much, so that's why it's a cool down, because your heart rate's coming down, your blood pressure's getting lower, your body temperature's getting lower. And here we are down here, and then we're going to tick-tock a little bit, you know, back and forth sideways with the arms. So my legs are straight. I'm working the low back still, but gently working the low back. This should not hurt anywhere because you went through lots of low back core exercises. Then I'm going to go this way, forward and back this way. It's a swing. My arms are straight. I can feel the blood in my fingers. And then I'm going to do some circles over top of my feet. And then I'll go the other way. Good work. And then I'm going to just hold it. Now, if your hands aren't touching the floor, that's okay. Just let my head be in neutral and try to calm down here and quiet and don't move. Just listen to that sparrow outside trying to tell everybody to stay away from her nest and her babies. And we've talked about stretching before. We're stretching our low back, we're stretching lots of things, our hips, our bum muscles, our hamstrings because our legs are straight. Lots of stuff's going on here. We've talked about how long we hold a stretch. Well, a famous doctor, Dr. Chris from Human 2.0, told me that if you can get yourself into a stretch and hold it without moving anything for around 2 minutes, that would be wonderful. A lot of people don't hold a stretch long enough, so really it's just a cool down move. It's still good for you, but it isn't really a stretch, and stretches are very important. This is when your body is warm, muscles are ready to be told that they can go a little bit longer, a little bit wider, if you hold it long enough anyway. So let's just say that's 2 minutes. Feels like 2 minutes, right? So now I'm going to straighten myself up. So I'm going to do it one vertebrae at a time as I just bring up my shoulders and straighten out my spine one vertebrae at a time. I'm not in a hurry. And you know what? I could be a little dizzy from being down there. You decide. If you are, you might want to hold on to something right here and stand up nice and tall. The only thing left to do is the drink up chat. If you want to stay for that, great. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Welcome to today's drink up. Let's try that again. I'm beginning to like water. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the core workout, the lumbar spine area of your body, those exercises we did today. I just want to tell you a couple of little things about that lumbar spine, because you need to really, really think about how important that area of your body is. It's made up of 5 cylindrical, cylinder-like bones. And the job of those 5 bones in that base of your body, in your trunk area there, is to allow you to move in as many different positions as you need to move into. And it protects all the nerves that travel from your brain down through your body. It's like a cylinder. The nerves go through it. That's really important. And it supports everything in your body, above and below. Keeps everything in the right position. I mean, it's like it's Grand Central Station. So if you're going to do any kind of a workout at all, any kind of a workout, make sure you have some core lumbar spine exercises in the workout. And you know some. You did some today. Otherwise, you never know. Over and out. See you next time.